Hundreds of supporters, clad in pink Free Karen Read gear, had gathered outside the courthouse under a gray April sky, their signs and chants demanding justice. The retrial of Karen Read, following a hung jury in 2024, had drawn intense public scrutiny. The atmosphere was electric with anticipation and division. Judge Beverly Canone had overseen the proceedings, with Karen Read, supported by her defense team, David Yannetti, Alan Jackson, Elizabeth Little, Robert Alessi, and Victoria George, a former alternate juror turned consultant, facing Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan. Hired at a taxpayer cost of $566,000, Brennan led the Commonwealth's streamlined case, assisted by Adam Lally. The charges included second-degree murder, manslaughter while operating under the influence, leaving the scene of a deadly crash, and, at the defense's urging, operating under the influence, OUI, as a lesser-included offense to give jurors options. Brennan had opened with a concise narrative asserting that Karen Read, intoxicated and enraged, struck John O'Keefe with her SUV and left him to die in a blizzard. Jackson countered, painting a corrupt investigation riddled with bias, incompetence, and planted evidence, framing Read as a scapegoat for a cover-up. Over 6 weeks, Brennan called 38 witnesses, a leaner roster than the first trial's 68. First responders described a chaotic scene, with Read allegedly admitting she hit O'Keefe, though cross-examination exposed gaps, like the failure to search 34 Fairview Road. State experts faltered. Shannon Burgess's digital forensics, suggesting a 24 miles per hour reverse maneuver, crumbled when Alessi revealed Burgess's exaggerated resume credentials. Judson Welcher's blue paint crash test, meant to show taillight scratches on O'Keefe's arm, was undermined when Alessi highlighted missing arm x-rays and inconsistencies with vehicular impact. Jennifer McCabe's testimony about Read's confessions was shaken by Jackson's focus on her suspicious 2:27 a.m. Google search and ties to the Albert family. Notably absent were first trial witnesses like Brian Albert, Brian Higgins, and Nicole Albert, as well as lead investigator Michael Proctor, whose biased texts had tainted the first trial. Brennan avoided reading those texts, signaling a shift to distance the case from prior controversies. The trial saw heated clashes. A dispute over dog experts arose when defense pathologist Dr. Marie Russell attributed O'Keefe's arm wounds to a German Shepherd attack, not a vehicle. Brennan's canine consultant, James Crosby, countered that the injuries didn't match a dog bite, prompting Alessi to call for a mistrial, citing the prosecution's failure to disclose DNA experts. Judge Canone denied the motion but limited testimony scope. Brennan's presentation of O'Keefe's hoodie as crash evidence backfired when Alessi revealed the holes were lab cuts, not impact damage, leading to another mistrial motion for misleading the jury. Canone instructed jurors to disregard the hoodie but again denied a mistrial. Alan Jackson's cross-examination of Officer Kelly Dever exposed her inconsistent statements about seeing others with Read's SUV, hinting at tampering, though she claimed a false memory. Alessi's repeated mistrial calls, often citing prosecutorial overreach, kept tensions high. The defense mounted a robust rebuttal over 2 weeks. Experts like Matthew DeSogra disputed SUV data, finding no collision evidence, while Dr. Elizabeth Laposada attributed O'Keefe's head trauma to a beating and arm wounds to an animal attack, noting the absence of fractures in unavailable x-rays. Andrew Rentschler's crash analysis further discredited the taillight theory, arguing the injury patterns didn't align with a high-speed impact. First trial witnesses like snowplow drivers, who saw no body on Fairview Road, bolstered the defense's timeline, and Proctor's damning texts were introduced indirectly, reinforcing bias claims. Brennan's closing emphasized physical evidence tying Read's SUV to O'Keefe's death, urging jurors to focus on her intoxication and actions. Jackson's closing dismantled the investigation, highlighting missing evidence, biased policing, and reasonable doubt, framing Read as a victim of a rush to judgment. After 4 days of deliberation, jurors acquitted Read of murder, manslaughter, and leaving the scene but convicted her of OUI, a lesser charge reflecting possible impairment without lethal intent. She received probation with educational requirements, no jail time. Outside, thousands in pink celebrated, their fundraising and social media campaigns, amplified by podcasts and viral posts, having fueled a movement for her acquittal. The O'Keefe family, heartbroken, pursued a civil suit, while Brennan expressed disappointment, suggesting public pressure swayed the outcome. Karen, surrounded by her team and supporters, thanked the public for their unwavering support, crediting their financial and emotional backing for her fight. The case left a polarized legacy, with debates over police accountability raging on and questions about O'Keefe's true killer lingering.